Hello, everyone, and welcome to Women of Grace Intercessory Unit, where we are having our live series. So we started this live series 2 weeks ago, where we talk about issues that affect women, right? Issues that affect women. And because Women of Grace Intercessory is a prayer group, our foundation is God through prayers. So we meet to pray every day, Monday to Fridays, and then we have a flagship program every Thursday, 9 p.m. WAT. We are praying for ourselves, praying for our husbands, praying for our children, praying for our career, our businesses, our ministries, and everything we do. So it's such a joy to have you join us today. God bless you. So we want to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we're going to go right into it. Let's begin to pray and thank God. So we're going to thank God. Our guest is already here and we'll start in about 2 minutes. Let's take some time to just thank God. Father, we are grateful. Thank you for the privilege we have to come together today. Thank you for every member of the group. Thank you for the Women of Grace Intercessory. Thank you for being our foundation. Thank you for being our strength. Thank you for sustaining us all these years. We are grateful. We ask, so God, even as we come together for the live series, even today's edition, we ask, Lord, that you will give us fresh insights, revelation of how we should take care of our health. And we ask, oh God, that for every one of us that will listen to this, every woman out there from different parts of the world that will listen to this at some point, let it be a blessing to them. We ask, oh God, perhaps some may be in a health situation that is not palatable right now. We are praying for divine intervention. And we ask, oh God, that through what they will learn and through what they will hear from this class, let them be empowered to take steps that will improve their health in the name of Jesus. We pray, oh God, is there any unhealthy habits we may be having right now? Give us the grace to drop it and give us the grace to pick up healthy habits that will serve us, serve our bodies, and to serve our future in the name of Jesus. If it's a mindset problem, today we are asking, oh God, that you set our mindset aright. We're asking, oh God, that you set our mindset aright. Perhaps we've grown up maybe having the wrong mindset towards our health. We're asking, Holy Spirit, today, even as we hear this teaching, that you open our hearts to the right mindset we should have so that we can begin to prosper in our health, just as you have wished for us. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen and amen. So I want to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Our guest is here already. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly trust God for a beautiful time today. So welcome everybody. Now I'm going to introduce our guest as she's going to be taking the center stage as she teaches us about health. Today our topic is practical ways to manage our health in 2025. For every woman, I know it's easy for us to get carried away managing the health of the children, managing the health of our spouse, but our health is also important because when a woman breaks down, it's very clear that she cannot give. When she breaks down, she can't give of herself anymore. She can't give herself, whether it's to her job or to her home, to her husband, to her children. She can't rise up early to prepare her children for school if she's down herself. So it's important we know how to stay up as women and improve our health in simple, practical ways. And I trust God that today we are going to learn that, so that we can be empowered, because a woman that is empowered will empower the people around her. She'll empower her husband, she'll empower her children with the same knowledge she has. So today I'd like to welcome Dr. Fego Edegbo. She's going to be teaching us practical tips for us to stay healthy in 2025. And I know for some of us, it's not because we don't want to stay healthy. It's because sometimes the unhealthy way is the way we've been raised. That's the way you know how to live, right? Maybe in terms of food, maybe in terms of activity. That's just the way you were raised. So that's what you are used to. So sometimes we fall into those habits unconsciously. But guess what? Today we are going to learn and relearn, unlearn, relearn, and be empowered. Okay, so welcome with me, Dr. Fego Edegbo. She's a medical doctor, and she'll be teaching us practical tips for us to, maintain our health and manage our health in 2025. Welcome to you, Dr. Fego. Welcome, Dr. Fego.
Good evening, everyone. Good
Good
evening.
evening. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can
We
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
Good
Yes, we
evening.
can. Yes.
Okay.
Over to you now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear
So
you.
I'm glad to be, all right, that's great. I'm glad to be here. It's an honor and a privilege to be here and to share my knowledge in health and see how the knowledge I share would be of great impact in everyone that will listen now and after this. So welcome everyone once again. My name is Dr. Fegor, and I'll be talking to you about um, practical ways to keep healthy as a woman in 2025. So I'll quickly share my screen so we can start this. So can you see my screen? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. So welcome once again. Like I said, we'll be going through practical ways to keep healthy as a woman in 2025. So I'll just go straight to the point. Go down. Let me share this slideshow. Okay. All right. And you can still see my screen, right? All right, perfect. So we're going to start. For health, we know how important a lot of people think, oh, I pray, I do this, so my prayer covers my health, but that is not what we're supposed to be doing, even as Christians. As Christians, God wants us to also be responsible, even in the areas of our health. And that's why we're here, to not just say, okay, let's just pray about something, but let's also understand how the body is, because in the body we have supposed, like when God created us, we have spirit, soul, and body. So we can't just cover the spirit, ignore our soul, or ignore our bodies. So that's one why we're here. So I'll start. So I'm going to go through what is health, areas to keep healthy as a woman, and then questions if there are any. So basically, um, health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being. So like I said earlier, the body, we as humans, we are made into both, we are made in different forms, spirit, soul, and body. If one of them is ill, if one of them is not functioning well, you're not healthy as a whole. You may push it aside. Maybe it's the soul that is not doing well. You may push it aside, but that's actually, it will reflect in other areas. You might even be in denial about it, but others will see it. They'll be wondering what's going on. But and so having a complete well-being of our whole body is what is important. Okay. And when you are whole, as when you are whole, like both in your soul, in your spirit, in your body, you see that there's life satisfaction. You're satisfied with your life. You even want to impact on other people. That is what comes with when you are being whole wholeheartedly. So it's not just saying, oh, there's no disease, oh, I don't have this particular disease. But how are you mentally? How are you socially? Are you people comfortable around you? So those are things we want to look at today. So I'll just go quickly. So I'll be looking at different areas. Just a second. Okay. All right. So the different areas I'll be looking at is exercises, eating healthy, hydration. The thing about it, hydration, and continue, adequate sleep, menstrual and hormonal health, mental and emotional well-being, and preventative health care and vaccination. The thing about health is that these are things that it's an everyday thing that people think, is it really important? Or they may push it aside because it's like, okay, it's too simple. They're expecting it to be something complex. But the thing about life is that it's those simple things that when we take care of prevents the complex things that we later see. So things like our exercise. So let me start. Okay. So regular exercises. Regular exercises is important for our body. The way our body is function is not just to sit in one place. It's not just to say, oh, especially in our part of the world, we feel, oh, if we don't walk, if we just sit down as madam, send this person on an errand, send that's when we are enjoying. But that's not the way our body is meant to function. Our body is meant to function in such a way that we are always active, we are moving. So on a weekly basis, we are expected to exercise for 150 minutes. That's for moderate intensity. What do I mean by moderate intensity? That's like walking is an example of moderate intensity. So if, for example, because when you tell people exercise in their head, they're like, oh, I have to go to the gym, which is not a bad thing. If you're a gym person, yes, please do go to the gym. But if you're not the type that, because not everybody likes to go to the gym, you can pick up other activities that will keep you active, like walking. You can walk around, maybe in your area, in your compound, if you have a big compound. The ideal time given is about 150 minutes for a week. And if you divide 150, let's say into 30 minutes, that's like 5. So if you can walk 30 minutes every for 5 days every week, you're able to keep to the ideal activity or exercise you are supposed to do for the week. 150 minutes may be too much for someone who hasn't been exercising for a long time. Let's say you haven't done it in years, or you've even never done it before. So you can start. We encourage people to start small. So it could be for 5 minutes. Let's say you exercise for 5 minutes for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you can increase it to 7, 10 minutes, and then you increase it like that. And before you know it, your body has gotten used to it, and you're able to do the 30 minutes every day or every other day for a week. The reason why we advise this is because when people start with, let's say, 30 minutes, the body is not used to it. It can cause the body to, maybe you start feeling some aches in your body, so you feel some type of way about it. Yes, you felt good while doing it, that you achieved that 30 minutes when you did it. But over time, whenever you think of exercising, you now associate the exercise with the way you felt after, which is not what we want. We want you to enjoy your exercise. I'll try and be fast. So doing exercise that is going to make you, whenever you think about exercise, you want to do it again, is what we encourage. So that's why we say start small. If you want to start, our aim is 30 minutes or even more, but start small and you build up momentum over time. But if you're someone that's already exercises, let's say you're running or you're expected, let's say 75 minutes for a week. Strength training is also another important thing to incorporate in your exercise. It helps build your muscles. This is good because as we get older, is needed for our health, for our muscle strength, our bone health. Staying active too. So let's say you have a kind of job that you stay indoors. Let's say you work from home, or even at the office, you're mostly sitting down. Just sitting down like that is not really ideal. So sometimes if you're in a place where you have to sit down, maybe every 30 minutes, set a timer. Or anytime you remember, just when you remember, stand up, walk around, or just stand up, raise your hand. Sometimes I do that. Just stand up, raise your hand, stretch, take a short walk if your office permits that. Then, like I said, your activity should be something you enjoy. So if you enjoy, let's say you're not able to do walking, or you don't have space to do walking, you could do dancing. Dancing is also another form of exercise. You could swim. Just do something that whenever you think of exercise, you're not thinking of, oh my God, this work has come again. Oh my God, I'm going to be stressed. I'm going to be tired. You're thinking of, oh, this has come. Okay, I'm excited. When is my next exercise going to happen? I want to do it. So that's what we want that's what I want everyone to think of when we think of exercise. Okay, now back healthy eating. I also wanted to share another screen. A second. Just give me a second. I was going to share. Let me see. Can you see my screen? No, you're not seeing the
Yes, we can
screen.
see healthy eating.
Okay, you can see healthy eating.
It's back to the regular screen. It's back to regular exercises now.
Okay, maybe I should stop sharing and then go back and share this. So I kept a few pictures, or I downloaded a few pictures. I didn't want to add it to the slides. So I was hoping I could easily switch between slides, but it's not working. So I will just, okay. Can I also add the entire screen? Oops. I think that's better. Okay. So can you see my screen now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to just go to the pictures. So I kept a few pictures. So you can see these people walking. You can see them smiling. This is what we want when you're exercising. We want you to look forward to it. So now let me go back to the slides. Yes. Okay. Can you still see my screen? Healthy eating.
Can see
Can you see
people walking, a picture of people walking.
do picture of people walking? That didn't work. Just give me a second. Entire screen. Share entire screen. Okay, I'll just continue. I was hoping I could share more than this or switch. Okay, that's fine. Apologies for that mix up. All right, so healthy eating. What's healthy eating? We want we advise everyone, or we advise people. Okay, you can see the screen. Okay, we advise people to eat healthy. What do I mean by eating healthy? It incorporates different classes of food in your diet. So what do I mean by that? Don't just a lot of people, especially in Nigeria, a lot of people, once they have a big plate of eba, or a big plate of eba, big plate of rice, and then maybe small vegetable at the side, or sometimes no vegetable at all. That's not what we want, because that way we are not feeding our body what it needs. What our body needs, it doesn't just need carbohydrates. Yes, carbohydrates gives us energy, but it also needs other nutrients to function optimally. So we need to incorporate things like fruits, we need to incorporate things like vegetables, we need to incorporate things like whole grains, fruits, vegetables. I know because of the economy, people may say, okay, they're not able to afford these things, but if you can afford it, maybe like every 3 meals or every 2 meals, you can try to get it maybe every as much as possible. Maybe every meal every day, or every meal every other day, just to ensure that you feed your body well, because whatever you give your body is what your body will work with. If you don't give your body enough the things needed to work properly, it would lack those things. So I want to show you an example of a healthy plate. So I would have to share my screen, this other picture. So give me a second. Let me, okay. So this is an example of a healthy plate. If you can see it very well, you can see that it has different, you can see that it has vegetables. This is what a healthy plate should look like. You can have, when you have your plate whole like this, if you divide the plate into two, half of it should be vegetables. So that's about 50% should be vegetables. 25% or 1/4 of it should be carbohydrates, and the other quarter should be protein. That way, excuse me, that way you're giving your body what it needs. If we're able to incorporate it, I try to look for Nigerian food, at least some of the food we can see here. You can see, if you can't get meat, you can replace it with fish, you can replace it with eggs. For vegetables, you can get maybe cabbage. You can get, some people, when you say vegetable, they just think of green vegetables, but it's beyond that. You can get you can get cabbage, lettuce, you can get carrots, you can get cucumber, those things. And also incorporating fruits too. It's not here, but fruits too is also important in our diet. This is another example. You can see half of it is vegetables. We have rice, then we have beans as our protein here. This is another one. So you can just get vegetables, you can get meat, the same rice. The rice could be yam, it could be it could be potato. Potato is another healthy meal we also want to incorporate. So those are examples of healthy plates, of a healthy plate. Give me a second. Okay. So those are examples of healthy plates, and those are things we encourage people to add to their diet. Also, portion control. That you're eating healthy doesn't mean that you eat a lot. We need to ensure that we are eating the right portion, because there's a particular amount our body needs to function every day. If we take excess, it's being stored as fat. So eating within in a portion that is, so eating in a portion that is not too much. So there are some people, they feel if they're not overfilled, or if they cannot stand up after eating, they've not eaten well. That's not what we just want you to eat, the right amount of food. Also avoiding processed food or limiting processed food. So foods that are high in sugar, like a lot of times we eat bread and all those things are processed. They're highly processed. And when we're taking this processed food, they don't give us the full benefit, or they're not healthy for us, basically. So we want to avoid that. Food that are high in sugar, like beverages, avoid them. This is also to avoid things like hypertension, obesity, diabetes, because when you do these things, you might be doing it just for a time, and you think, oh, nothing is happening. But over time, in the next few years, you see that these things build up, and it can lead to health issues, and we are trying to avoid that. Then lastly, for healthy eating is hydration. Drinking 8 cups of water, that's about 2 liters of water every day. This helps with our digestion and all. Let me go to the next slide. So continue with our hydration. Drinking water regularly is essential for our digestion, is essential for nutrients absorption. It's also important to eliminate toxins. And like I said earlier, also reducing sodas, energy drinks, and all, to prevent the complications that it leads over time. Next slide. Okay, so sleep is the next thing. So like I outlined before, we have a few things. And like I said before, it's in these simple things that if you do right or you do wrong, that accumulates over time and leads to other complications of being a blessing at the end as we age. For sleep, we need an average of 7 to 9 hours of sleep. With the way everything, with some people's work schedule, not everyone is able to do this, but we always encourage if you can get it. And not, some people feel okay, 7 to 9 hours. We are not against doing things like midnight prayers and things like that. But at the same time, we also want to get adequate sleep. So sleeping up to 7 hours. So let's say you sleep, some people may sleep, let's say they break their sleep, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Breaking sleep is not advisable medically because you're not getting, while we sleep, there's something called the sleep cycle. And if you're not getting your optimal sleep, when you break that, if you sleep for the straight 7 hours or even 6 hours is fine, you're able to get the full benefits, you feel refreshed. The aim of sleeping is to refresh, to get refreshed. So if you're waking up from your sleep and you're not feeling refreshed, that means your sleep is not optimal. And you can do that maybe by sleeping. You can get that by sleeping early. If you sleep early, you can easily wake up early and do your prayers. So we're not against prayers, but you can sleep early to do your prayers. Or maybe if you sleep late, just try and take sleep extra just to ensure you get this optimal amount of time for sleep. Scheduling, having a good bedtime routine is important to get a good sleep. Having a good bedtime routine is important to get a good sleep. What do I mean by that? Before you go to bed, it's not just going to bed or entering your bed that you're having it, that your routine starts. So you can start like 30 minutes. Maybe before then, you can turn off your lights. You can put on maybe some sound. Some people play these light sounds, like maybe raindrops, things like that, to help them sleep. Avoid your phones at those times. These little things that you incorporate helps with your sleep at the end of the day, because by the time you have this routine every time, and not holding your phone at in your bedroom or on your bed, because your body will associate that with, oh, my bed, I can still be awake while I'm on my bed. But if, for example, you want to go to bed, every time you want to go to bed, you drop your phone. The moment you drop your phone and you're climbing on the bed, your body is like, okay, it's time to sleep. It drops everything. Then some people, they may go in maybe worried about things. You could journal before you go to bed. Let's say you're the type that is thinking, oh, I have to do this tomorrow, do this tomorrow. You can journal those thoughts down on a book or on your phone before going to bed, that, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then you climb, or you go to sleep. By the time you do that, whenever you think of those things or those things come to your head, just tell yourself, oh, I've written this on my book already, or I've written this in my journal already. That way it will help you sleep better. Also avoiding things like, I'm sure we're Christians, so we don't take alcohol and things like that, but I'm still going to say, so avoiding things like alcohol. Some people take coffee. Try to really limit your coffee, not to take it at night. Even exercise, don't exercise in the evening. Or when I say evening, some hours to when you go to bed, because when you exercise, there's something called the fight mood. Your body is active, wants to be active, and if you do that before going to bed, you find it difficult to go to bed. So even though we are encouraged you to exercise, maybe you exercise in the early hours of the evening and not at night. Avoid coffee, heavy meals. So if you want to eat, try to eat about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours before your bedtime. So let's say you sleep at 10, you should be eating maybe at 3 hours, maybe 7, 6, 7. p.m., that's when you should be eating. So our next, so as women, we have our health, we have our health, we have our menstrual health, and we have hormonal health. So it's important for us to know our cycle. Every woman have their own cycle, and keeping tabs with your cycle will help you understand yourself better. Because in the cycle, there are different times, there are different phases. We have the just give me a second. We have the follicular phase and we have the proliferative. Let me go back. I'm coming. Let me just share this screen so that let me share my screen again. Okay. So I was talking about healthy eating before, then drinking water. I just have some of the pictures here. Then sleeping. So these are things you can do. You can do stretches, like I said before. One second. Okay. So these are things, like I said before, you can avoid alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, eat healthy. You can exercise, but way before bedtime. Reading a book also helps. And then at sleep, when you're sleeping, you can avoid your screen, like I said earlier, use like a dim light and things like that, so that you can have a good sleep, like this lady here. So now menstrual health. So we have different phases in our menstrual cycle. We have the proliferative phase, and we have the proliferative phase. We have the follicular phase and luteal phase. So for the understanding our menstrual health is important because these cycles in different times in our cycle we produce different hormones, and that can affect our moods, that can affect how we feel about ourselves, that can affect our bodies. There are some symptoms that comes with these hormones. If you understand these things, by the time let's say you notice these changes in your body, you'll be able to tell yourself that, okay, this is that. Sometimes you feel you're not able to tolerate some things the way you're able to tolerate. If you understand your menstrual phase, you will be able to understand, okay, this could be the reason why, and this will also be the reason why. It could come with symptoms like some people may have bloating, some people may have abdominal, maybe like cramps, some people may have their skin changes, some people may have there are different symptoms because everyone is different. So if you understand these phases in your body, you'll be able to, if you understand these phases in your body, you'll be able to, sharing. Okay. If you understand these phases in your body, you'll be able to apply yourself and understand what's going on and make changes eventually. So what can you see? Can you still see the pictures? I want to be sure.
No, we can't see your screen. There's nothing showing.
Okay. Okay, I can see my screen now, so I'll share. All right, so understanding this would help us in monitoring our cycle and understanding what's going on with our body. Also, you also be able to, let's say you're trying to get pregnant, you also understand that. When you understand when you're ovulating, it helps us to also find out if we know our normal. If there's a change in our normal, we'll be able to identify it and go see our doctors. But if we are just leaving it like that, we won't be able to identify, okay, this is what is wrong, this is what is right. So doing this would help us know, because there are different women reproductive health issues. There are fibroids, there's PCOS, we've heard all these things. So if you are able to, people are able to pick these things because they're able to, some of them are able to notice, oh, there's a difference between how it used to be, or it's not the way it's like with other people, then they go seek medical health and medical help, and they're able to identify it and work on it. So getting to know our menstrual health is also very important. I'll just go to our next slide. Okay, now our mental and emotional well-being is important to because, like I said earlier, our body is not just made of our physical body. We have spirit. We are made of spirit, soul, and body. And for us to say we are well or have a good well-being is great, we have to ensure that those three areas are good. Spiritually, like we're already doing here, we are praying, getting to know God and everything. So that's fine. But our soul is something a lot of people neglect. They feel, oh, prayed about it as well. Oh, let's say someone annoys you or something, oh, you just push it on under. That's not a matured, or that's not a way to handle situations. So there are situations you have to address. If you don't address them, they'll keep piling up, and over time it builds up to something you are not even aware was building up in you. There are different ways we can ensure that our mental well-being is well taken care of. One of them is by managing our stress. Stress is something that is part of life. When I say stress, okay, let me say challenges. Life is full of challenges. In fact, the beauty of life is to overcome challenges. So when challenges come, it's a beauty. It comes when challenges come, it comes to build us up to actually enjoy life, to get to the next phase of our life. So it's okay and it's normal to have challenges. It could be in different areas, but how do we manage those stress when they come to us? Some people, they throw tantrums, adult tantrums, and that's not an appropriate way, or there are different ways, but that's not an appropriate way. So there are different ways you can manage it. You could do deep breathing. If it's in a situation where you can't really, let's say you can't do meditation, you can't do yoga, you can do deep breathing. Take a deep breath for like 5 seconds. After that, breathe in through your mouth for 3 seconds. Take another deep breath. If you do that, you're able to relieve that stress at that particular time. At that time, you could also take yourself from the stress situation. Let's say it's in an office, you can go to the bathroom and just calm down, maybe wash your face or something. You can talk to people. You can do meditation. Let's say you get home and you're able to just think about it. You can do exercise. Things like that help. It's important to take note of these things so that we can easily identify when we are stressed, and we can do something about it, so we can overcome the stress that comes our way. Another way is by, like I said, asking for help. You can seek professional help. So let's say it's something you've tried to handle, you've done different things, and it's not helping. What you can do is seek professional. Yeah, we have counselors, we have counselor be here. Then we have psychologists. You can go speak to them. They will be able to put you through the process, because honestly, whatever stress you're going through is just a phase, it's just a process. You always overcome. There's something I've learned, or my friends have taught me, is that everything will do okay after all. Everything will be all right at the end. That's just the honest truth. No matter whatever stress you're going through, everything will be okay at the end. So it's just, okay, what do I do now for everything to be okay? So if you can do it, let's say you take deep breathing, and that helps, that's fine. If you need to get help to get to that process of when everything will be okay, you get help. The main thing is that you overcome the stress in whatever way you believe will help you. Also, having good support system or social connections is also important. This helps in also managing the stress, in dealing with life situations. we're not meant, well, we're not made to be islands. We're meant to interact. Excuse me. We are meant to interact with people. That's why we are not the only one on the earth. We have other people. So one of the ways we can do that is either through families. So we may have our families, we have friends, we have also community like this community. Having communities like this also help. That way, even if you're stressed, it's easier when, if for example, there's a big load and one person is carrying it. Imagine if the person calls that same load, 4 people, it makes it easy on you to carry that particular load. The same thing, when you have these connections, when this stress or these challenges come your way, you're able to deal with it. And like we said, we are made up of different parts. We have our spirit, soul, and body. If our soul is affected, can show in our bodies. We might not be able to function as we want to. You can see there are some people that actually fall ill because of stress in their life. Some people actually felt like it affect their whole body. Some people are not able to walk because of stress on their life, things like that. So getting this support to help us in overcoming this stress. Then practicing gratitude and positivity, being grateful, because first of all, it's even a privilege to be alive. So just being grateful for where you are at and looking forward to where you're going to. So let's say you're looking for you have a particular goal. You might not have gotten there, but you're looking forward to it. So be grateful for where you are, because obviously you know where you started or where you used to be, and then look forward to the next phase of your life. And let's go to the next one. Now, preventative healthcare and vaccination. So it's important in all of these. These are different steps. Like I said when I started, having a healthy lifestyle is so simple that people neglect it. It's so simple that it's like people are like, oh, is it really important? Or I'll move it to another day, and then you keep procrastinating. But the thing about life is that as you keep avoiding or doing things, you get the result later in life. So let's say there's someone that's always doing the wrong thing. Later in life, it will show. An example would be, let's say there's a smoker. You're smoking, oh, I'm enjoying my life. It's if at the end of, let's say you start getting older, you're dealing with lung cancer. Those are, they didn't just develop like that. It was your decisions when you were younger that made it happen. The same thing, if for example now you're always exercising everything. I don't know if you go online, you see some elderly people, they are still going to the gym, able to do things like that. That's because they've been doing it earlier. So being able to start these things while we are young, so that when we grow older, it's easier for us, is important. So one of the things is healthy health checkups. We can schedule routine. It's important to schedule routine exams. So to check our health, it's good to know what's going on in our body. We've spoken about our spirit, which is our prayer, work with God and everything. We've spoken about our soul, which is our mental health. Now our body, let's know what's going on in our body, and that's why we're going to check. We're not going to the hospital for anything, just to see, okay, how is this organ functioning? How is this organ functioning? Is there something I can do if it's not functioning optimally that I can do to help? Dental checkups, you can say, oh, is there something I can do? An example would be, is there something I can do to make my oral health good? So maybe that I need to brush more often. I need to add floss into my routine. So the same thing with our medical checkup. When you do your medical checkups, you're able to identify, is there something I can improve so that I can be better? Also eye exams, but that can also come under medical checkup. By the time you do this, you're able to first of all identify anything that is wrong early. And that's the best way to actually treat. The best way to treat a disease is to prevent it. Like they say, prevention is better than cure. Or like we say as in secondary or primary school, provision store is better than cures. So So yeah, identifying these diseases, any disease early is important because that way you're able to stop it from getting to the complicated state. So you can do blood work. First of all, go to your doctor. Your doctor will tell you what to do. Vaccination is another way to prevent. What happens with vaccination is that you build your immune system against some diseases. We could have things like flu shots. We have things like HPV. HPV, I don't know. I want to believe everyone would have heard of HPV here. HPV is very important, especially for women. It's been found out that people that have cervical cancer has been associated with HPV. So taking the vaccine actually has been proven to prevent cervical cancer. So it's important to take these vaccines so that we can prevent the diseases later. Practicing safe habits like safe driving, using your sunscreen. Sunscreen is very important. Good hygiene is also very important. When you have good hygiene, it not just helps you, it also helps the people around you. Self-examination is another thing you can do. There are different, there's the breast self-examination you can do. It's good to examine yourself. When you, like I said earlier, when you understand yourself, you know yourself very well. When there's an abnormality or when there's something that's not usual, you're able to pick it up and work on it or seek help concerning it. An example is like the breast exam. What you can do is you can do self-exam after, let's say, after your period. That's the best time to take it, but you can take it anytime. After your period, you go to in front of the mirror, you check yourself, you remove your clothes, obviously, you check yourself in front of the mirror and see if there are any abnormalities. You raise your arm while looking at the mirror, check also, are there any abnormalities? Then you can raise your hand, you then check your breast in a circular motion all around, check both sides, and see, you compare. So the aim of checking is to compare, is this present in the left and not present in the right? Is this not present in the left and not present in the right? There are some things that are normal. So sometimes some people will say, oh, one breast is bigger than the other. Sometimes the breast is asymmetrical, so it's not going to always be the same. So those are things you can just point out. But if there's something that's very significant in your examination, you can always seek your medical help. Go to your doctors, ask your doctors for medical advice on what to do. Mammogram, as women, we're supposed to do mammogram. Is also a form of preventative health. We're supposed to do mammogram every 2 years once we get to 45, but not everybody does it, especially, and also colonoscopy this is to identify colon cancer, especially if you have a family relative that has it. It's important to do this screening so you can identify it on time and prevent any issues that you may need to identify and work on at that time. It's 56 already. I believe I'm done. Yes, so thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
So thank you so much, Dr. Pego. Thank you so much. Okay, so I have questions. I don't know if others have. If you have questions, please just put it in the chat. But I definitely have questions, and I would want to mention one of it, right? So one of my questions today is, okay, I heard you. You said a lot about health. One of the things I heard from what you said was how well-being is linked to overall happiness and life satisfaction. Also defining health as both physical, mental and social well-being. So it's not just I'm fine, I'm not sick. So so I'm fine. So there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. And all no, it's also you must be well in your mind, well socially as well. Secondly, my question actually was I have like 4 or 5 questions. Now, people that are used to taking soda daily, what can they replace it with? You know, some people are used to
Um,
taking soda.
okay. So if it's something you're used to already, it's a habit and it would be hard to break. And that is normal because it's a habit. But what you can do is you can replace it. It's not, and because it's a habit, let me start with this. Because it's a habit, it won't change immediately. You need to give yourself grace. You need time to break it. What you can do is let me say you take it every day. If you can try to take it maybe every